What's going on there, guys? We back with another one. So now we have Shannon Sharpe's response to Stephen A. Smith, and Stephen A. says some things on today, like if LeBron would have touched him, he would have swung on him. That's going viral right now. But as we all know, LeBron was on Pat McAfee's show earlier. Well, it's about to be 12, or it's a little after 12. He was on Pat McAfee's show today, and he called out a lot of people, and people been waiting to see what Shannon had to say. And I know one of the things Stephen A. Smith said was, "This ain't Shannon Sharpe over here. You ain't my goat. Jordan's my goat." And so I just been kind of waiting to see how Shannon responded to the way that Stephen A. Smith said that. I'm gonna play that clip first, then I'm gonna show you what Shannon had to say in response. Let's speak.
I ain't Shannon Sharpe. It ain't GOAT status this way. My GOAT is Michael Jordan.
Hey.
Me, I wish Stephen A would just left it alone. Once he addressed it, once it happened.
The first time.
Address it. This is what happened. He came over to me, said what he said. I want to address it now, and I'm going to be done with it.
Right.
Because as my grandma used to say, boy, stirring up old ish, it still smells. So every time Stephen A talks about it, it stirs it up again.
Yeah.
And look, I see both sides. I see both sides of the equation.
Yeah.
But Stephen A just need to let it go. He needs to let it go. And now you're like, well, if he'd hit him, I don't think LeBron was coming to hit you. LeBron was coming to tell you, bro, just stop talking about my son. Right. He said, because you said, oh, as a father, now you're making it personal. You're making it personal because now you're making it seem, and this is how LeBron, I think, took it. You making it seem that I'm not a good father, that I'm not putting my son in a position to be successful. And so you're pushing this. And so LeBron took it a certain way. And am I surprised LeBron responded the way he did so publicly? Because LeBron is a very private person.
Yes, sir.
He might have an issue with someone and you will never know it.
You'll never know it, yeah.
You'll never know it. So, and so for him to do that at a game, and it wasn't after the game, it wasn't before the game, it was the third quarter during a timeout, lets you know how upset he was at Stephen A and what Stephen A had been saying. But at this point in time, I understand LeBron, they asked LeBron about this, but if I'm Stephen A, hey, guys, I've already addressed that. He said what he said. I understood his point. I said what I said. Now it's time to move on. Look, it's not going to stop me from talking about LeBron James, the basketball player on the court. But the incident, I feel that we've talked about it ad nauseum. I feel we've talked about it enough, and now it's time to move on. That's what I wish Stephen A would do.
Yeah.
But like he said, I mean, look, I get it. That's LeBron James. It's the biggest name in pro North American sport. And when you mention his name, good, bad, or indifferent, people will want to click and hear what you have to say about him. But the one thing I know about this guy, and I know him a little bit, I don't know him as well as a lot of people do. That man loves his family. He's gonna protect his family now.
Always. And I think when you think about it and you go back to the way things happen with LeBron actually addressing Stephen A courtside is, well, what Stephen A said obviously was said publicly on a public forum on TV. So he addressed it the exact same way, publicly, courtside in the middle of a game.
Yes.
Now, as a father, and like Stephen A said, he understood where LeBron was coming from. Knowing Stephen A, I think in the individual that he is, LeBron said what he had to say today. I'm sure Stephen A is going to respond to that because
he did.
You need to think about it. Anytime anyone says anything to or about Stephen A, he's going to have an answer to whatever is being said. That's just him, and it's always been him. I know you would like him to leave it alone, but I don't think that's not how this gonna go.
The only thing I would have said was Stephen A. Look, I know people are gonna like, man, LeBron should have stole on you. LeBron should have did this. Man, they just talking.
Yeah,
Stephen A. Man, you the same man. I'm about to be 57. You about to be 58. Bro, that ain't even your MO.
Right.
You ain't gonna fight nobody. LeBron wasn't gonna swing on you. and you wasn't gonna, LeBron wasn't gonna swing on you, so there would have been no need for you to swing on him. I'm glad you guys stood there and y'all talked. Look, he said what he said. You seemed to be receptive at the time of it. You you said you understood because he was speaking to you as a father and not LeBron James, the basketball player. And you said you understood that. Let it go now.
Yeah.
Let it go now.
Now, this is what I'll say to all of that. You know, a large part of the conversation today has been the way Shannon Sharpe and Draymond Green have taken up for LeBron James. Why in the world is Pat McAfee getting the interview over those guys? And I could see why not Draymond, right? And not to talk about these issues, but why not Shannon Sharpe? One may say he aligned himself with Stephen A. Smith and he doesn't want anything, under that umbrella. I also looked at Colin Cowherd and some of the things that he may say sometimes about LeBron that's unfavorable, those podcasts being under Colin. LeBron is that calculated where he's not going to give you content to have on the Cowherd's platform like that, if he don't deem it somebody that, he wants, right? So, yeah, man, that's crazy that's been the conversation. You taking up for LeBron, and you can't get the interview, and Shannon comes out and takes up for him the very night that many are talking about that on the internet. But, maybe this is how Shannon really feels. Maybe he looking at it like, Stephen A., you hit a foul ball, and you need to own that. Is his perspective. Stephen A. is like, wait, I'm just saying from my perspective, some of the things I haven't disclosed and some of the things that have happened behind the scenes with LeBron James has been shady. And now it's hit the fan, it's spilled out in the public. I think about, that pregame where LeBron came dapped up all the people on the NBA countdown, and Stephen A. was on the end. He gave Stephen A. a dap and kind of walked away, but you could tell it was a little different than Perk, Malika, and the other. I can't remember who else was up there with them, but he showed them all love and even greeted Stephen A. So it was nothing wrong right there with doing that. If I don't fool with you, I ain't got to overly pretend like I do. So I did respect that LeBron did that, but yeah, man. Let me know how you guys feel about this. It's a lot being said online right now. But Stephen A., to be clear, let me clear this up too. If you haven't seen the whole interview, Stephen A. said, I would have got my butt kicked because I would have swung. So he didn't make it sound like he was Superman. He knew that he couldn't beat LeBron. But, if any man touched you, you would have had to. But I know why people coming at Stephen A. because sometimes he has that smoke type energy. And then when it's in his face, now it's time for it. You can't be somebody that bow out and say, well, I'm just going to take the L. This is what people are saying. But Stephen A., at the end of the day, Stephen A., about 60 years old, man. So ain't going to be too much fighting. LeBron ain't going to do that either. LeBron is not going to do that to his brand. Yeah, man, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.